The Cleveland Browns just had one of the most interesting draft classes, and it's not even over, but through their first 7 picks, and it is fascinating, and I am here to break down everything they did. Obviously, the headline right now is Dillon Gabriel last night, and Shedeur Sanders as their second quarterback drafted and 7th player drafted, but let's rewind a little bit because they came into this draft with the number 2 overall pick, and with that pick, they traded down, they accumulated a ton of draft capital from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then at number 5 overall they got Mason Graham, a defensive tackle out of Michigan. And then when day 2 started yesterday, that's when all eyes were on Shedeur Sanders and what they do to address the quarterback position, because they just had Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett in their quarterback room coming into the draft starting on Thursday night, but they started with a linebacker. They got Carson Schweschinger out of UCLA with the first pick of the second round, and then a couple picks later, they addressed the running back position. They didn't get Travion Henderson, but they got his Ohio State teammate in Quinshon Judkins. Then, with the third pick of the third round, they got a tight end who tore up the MAC all of last year. It's Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green. He put up some gaudy numbers. And then, when the draft really turned on its head is with the 30th pick of the third round, they drafted Dillon Gabriel out of Oregon as the 5th quarterback selected in this year's draft, presumably taking them out of the running for Shedeur Sanders. And then they decided to double up on running backs when today started. They got Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, and then finally the wait ended. The Eagles were on the clock, and a lot of people believe that the Eagles could be a landing spot for Shedeur to sit behind Jalen Hurts and learn as a backup, but then they traded above the Eagles. They got Shedeur Sanders. They ended the wait, so now who knows what's going to happen in that quarterback room and how the depth chart is going to align with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. A lot of people believe that Shedeur Sanders is better than Dillon Gabriel, but with the Browns drafting Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders, does that give him an upper hand early? It's also very fascinating, apart from drafting 2 quarterbacks, that they got 2 running backs. It's a loaded year for running backs. They're replacing Nick Chubb, so you have Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee and Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State. Overall, I just think this is a fascinating crop of talent that the Browns are getting in this year's draft. Subscribe for more content like this every day. Thank you for watching, and leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video.